Hey everyone! In today's video, I wanted to share how you can use this plugin called Simulator to apply Figma's new variables to your designs faster. As an example, I'll be using a couple old components from Atlassian Design System and then their current updated design tokens. The first example is applying border radius, and in this case, I want to apply a border radius variable to all of my text field variants and including my text area. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select one layer. In this case, it's going to be a text field variant, which has the border radius of 3. And then I'm going to go to plugins and I'll search for Simulator, then run the plugin, search for radius. And I could just do top left radius because I know that all of the other corners are also going to be 3. But just to be safe, we'll select all of the corners and then we'll press select layers. And as you can see, it selected all of my text fields in 2 different components and then also all of the variants in the text area. From here, I'm going to go over to the border radius and I'll click this icon and I'll be using the one with the value of 1 because it maps to 3 pixels. And to confirm that I have indeed applied the variable, you'll see that the appearance of the value changed and it now has this code style to it. The next example is applying a variable for spacing in between elements. So let's say for this flag message component, I wanted to select all layers that have spacing in between of 8 and then switch it to a space variable. What I'm going to do is select just one example and then I'll run the Simulator plugin. I'll remove all this stuff and I'll search for item spacing. Then I'll click select layers. And it's now showing me all the layers where the spacing in between is set to 8. So from here, I'm going to go to the gap between items, click the drop down, and then go to apply variable. Then I'll change it to the value of 100, which maps to 8 pixels. For this third example, we'll also be applying a space variable, but instead of applying it to the gap between elements, we'll be applying it to padding. So here I have a bunch of tag components. Let's say this one has a padding of 4 on both left and the right. So what I'm going to do is go to Simulator, and then I'll search for padding. I'll use padding left and padding right. Then I'll press select layers. It's going to select all the layers. And now I can go to the horizontal padding under auto layout section, and I'll select 50, which maps to 4. Here I also have some tags that have 2 pixels on the left and 4 on the right. I could do the same thing, just run the Simulator, use the padding left of 2, padding right of 4, select layers, and update them. This last example is for colors. So yes, Figma has a selection tool where technically I can just go to selection colors and then let's say select green and replace it with the correct new variable. However, the Simulator plugin allows us to be a little bit more specific, which is useful in instances where my styles do not match my variables. For example, here I have this green color, which applies to both the icon and the text. But maybe my new variables have different ones for the text versus the icon. And the reason for that could be is that maybe I want to have different colors, or maybe I just want to have that flexibility in the future. So what I can do instead is first select the text layer, and then we'll go to the Simulator plugin. I'm going to first search for the layer type and select that. And then I'll do the fill style to select all the text layers that have this green color applied. I'll run this. I'll get all of my layers. And then I'm going to search for text success, and I'll replace it. I could do the same thing for the icon. I can select the vector, then go to Simulator and do the same thing. So I have the layer type and the fill style pre-selected because that's what I just ran. I'll select those. You can see that the layer type now updated to the vector because that's what I have selected. Then we'll select the layers and we'll replace them with icon success. And yeah, as you can see, there's new colors. So our icon now is slightly lighter and our text color is still like deeper dark green. Anyway, these were the examples that I wanted to share because these are the ones that I'm dealing with most at the moment. Of course, there are other Figma variables and there are also many other properties that you can select from the Simulator plugin. So I recommend you just go in there and just check out what it has. I do hope that this speeds up your conversion process just like it helped to speed up mine. And if there are any other plugins that you have been using, please feel free to share. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.